Right now, an early morning fire in Norwalk displaces several families on this Easter Sunday. A Bridgeport pastor celebrating the holiday with a special message through music. The day, though, marred by terror overseas. More than 200 dead, some 450 hurt at last check. Bombs go off at churches and hotels in Sri Lanka. I'm Nick Madanis. You're watching News 12 Connecticut. Those stories ahead. First, though, a check of the forecast as we take a look at our community camera in Reading. We do see a little bit of blue sky there. We hope you're enjoying this Easter Sunday. Meteorologist Michelle Powers here to tell us more on the forecast. Michelle.
Yes, well, it took us a little while to get there, Nick, but now we are seeing some breaks in the sky. But looking back to this morning, it wasn't the best start to our Sunday. Not the best start getting up for Easter morning either. Now, today's temperatures were kept a little bit lower with the clouds and the showers here in Bridgeport. They were on and off throughout the morning, even into the early afternoon. Now, the average temperature this time of year is 60, and I think we're finally getting on track now as we start the evening. Temperatures, though, will go the other way, and they'll start to cool the next few hours. So this is where we're starting out. We have some 50s and 60s, and the weather is improving slightly. The wind flow is still east-southeast. Come tomorrow, though, it'll be out of the north and northwest, and that will start to change things up for us. Now, there are some scattered showers throughout parts of Litchfield County, but most of us in Fairfield are drying out temporarily. Come tomorrow, we're going to watch more moisture head northward. Right now, the very beginnings of that just off the mid-Atlantic coastline. That rain heads north, and really that will be the tail end of this unsettled pattern for us. So look for a mostly cloudy sky tonight. Come tomorrow, there could be a few showers around. I'll have more on tomorrow's forecast coming up. Nick, back to you.
Michelle, thank you. Several Norwalk families left without a home tonight after an Easter morning fire. News 12 Connecticut's Sean McCabe has the story.
An unhappy Easter surprise for residents of this multifamily home on Soundview Avenue, who first responders say will be displaced for some time by the fire here this morning.
Got a report of fire behind St. Ladislaus Church.
When firefighters arrived on scene, they found flames billowing from the house's back windows.
Major concentration of fire in the rear of the house, which would be the kitchen, unknown where it started.
Officials say they dealt with a few obstacles fighting the blaze.
The house is elevated off the street, so it was a little bit longer stretch for the members to get the line to the third floor.
But they were able to contain the flames to the structure's third floor.
Took a few more extra minutes, but we were able to knock the fire down before it truly extended.
While nobody was hurt, the whole building will need serious renovations.
Heat and smoke damage into the attic area, and then the first and second floor water damage.
Which means its 14 residents won't be coming home for a while.
We have to secure power. All 3 floors will be unoccupied moving forward.
Firefighters say it's especially sad to see on Easter Sunday.
No, fire's never a good timing for anybody, but always on the holidays, it just strikes you a little more.
In Norwalk, Sean McCabe, News 12 Connecticut.
A car rolls over in Norwalk, and the driver of that SUV is charged tonight with drunken driving. It happened after midnight in the area of New Canaan Avenue and Riverside Avenue. Police say the Tahoe turned into a black Jeep going the other way, causing the Tahoe to flip. Nobody was injured. An accident overnight in Litchfield. A pickup truck goes off the road and hits a tree near East Street and Northfield Road. This was just after 11 o'clock. Firefighters had to extricate the driver from the car, which was badly damaged. Police say the driver had injuries to his legs. Only on 12, an Easter appeal for help tonight from a local mom whose 7-year-old son has a terminal heart condition. News 12 Connecticut's Frank Recchia reports.
Corey wasn't supposed to live. He was like a miracle.
Jamie Lake says she cannot imagine life without her 7-year-old son, Corey.
There's nothing that could replace him. Like ever.
The problem is Corey has a rare genetic condition called Williams syndrome, which has weakened his heart and put his future in doubt. Corey has undergone 22 heart surgeries at Yale New Haven Children's Hospital.
It's just been a lot.
Each one putting as much stress on his mom's heart as it did on his own. But she does her best not to show it.
At this point, I've pretty much have tried to bypass my tears and just more love him and do everything I possibly could for him.
In spite of her resilience, Lake had to fight back tears while saying Corey's doctors have prepared her for the worst.
I'm only 33. I wasn't expecting something like this to happen. I don't think any mother does.
So we're going to give you an award for your mom and your dad and for you for the word courage.
An enthusiastic reception from the boy of the hour, who wasted no time showing his appreciation for today's honor from Mayor Joe Ganim, who encouraged the public to support a fundraiser for a car the family needs to get Corey back and forth to his life-saving medical treatments.
Donate and help out this family. No child should undergo or have to face 22 heart surgeries in a young 7-year life.
It's really hard because I don't have a car. I don't have any way of transporting him myself unless I rely on family or a friend.
The future may be uncertain, but Lake says she has Corey now, and nothing can alter the beauty of her love for him.
I guess I just count my blessings and do what I can for him.
In Bridgeport, Frank Recchia, News 12 Connecticut.
If you want to help them, we have a link to that fund set up at news12.com. Governor Lamont nominates Marissa Paslick Gillette of Baltimore to serve as chair of Connecticut's Public Utilities Regulatory Authority. It's responsible for regulating the rates and service of electric, gas, water, telecom. If confirmed, she'll serve the remainder of the term held by Katie Dykes, who's now commissioner of the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection. People in Norwalk enjoy Easter brunch at places like Washington Prime today, the Sono Eatery with a special buffet, as is the case often on Easter. The experienced staff helping busy days like this go smoothly.
We're very busy for Easter. We're very busy for Mother's Day. We have a Mother's Day brunch coming up. We do a lot of special occasion things.
And they say they served around 400 people today. Worshippers in Fairfield not letting a little rain stop them this morning at Penfield Beach. They bundled up and brought umbrellas for an Easter sunrise service. This was Black Rock Church's 8th year hosting the outdoor Easter celebration. A Bridgeport pastor brings the Easter message to life through music.
One day at a time, sweet Jesus, that's all I'm asking of you.
Pastor Earl Johnson of Christ House of Unity Church saying he has a small congregation, but a big message. He says it's one of renewal through hope and forgiveness and is often best taught through song. He tells News 12 Connecticut, you don't have to be a Christian for Easter to be a teaching moment.
Whatever you are going through, just know that you can rise from it all. You fall down, you mess up, but in spite of what you've been through, you shall rise again. Amen. The city.
He says small urban churches like his have the power to inspire change. Pope Francis leading Easter Mass this morning in Vatican Square. He traveled into a flower-decked St. Peter's Square commemorating the resurrection of Christ after crucifixion. This year, the Easter season marred by the destruction of the Notre Dame Cathedral, and the Pope today condemning what he calls the cruel violence in Sri Lanka. That's where at least 200 people were killed during an Easter Sunday massacre. Some 450 injured, 8 bombs at churches and hotels. Right now, 13 suspects under arrest. Officials say 3 officers died as they went to question suspects. The attack said to be coordinated by a group of suicide bombers. A Sri Lankan official says it's the carnage of religious extremists against Christians. There's a nationwide curfew, 6 at night to 6 in the morning. Social media access is cut to curtail the spread of fake information. New video shows one of the explosions that rocked the area hit. This was at St. Anthony's Church, the entire country on lockdown. Senator Richard Blumenthal says the U.S. should waste no time demanding full accountability for the horror.
The bloodshed, heartbreak, tears should be felt around the world, and so should accountability for these mass murderers. They deserve full justice and accountability, and all law enforcement around the world should join in this effort.
The town of Westport issuing a statement on the attack, saying we are deeply saddened by the appalling terror attacks in Sri Lanka targeting innocent people praying in their churches. Our prayers are with the people of Sri Lanka and all those affected by this unspeakable tragedy. The man behind hits like Boys in the Hood and Poetic Justice is still in the hospital tonight. Director John Singleton suffering a stroke Wednesday. His family says he's gotten great medical care so far. Hollywood sending warm wishes online, including from the actor Omar Epps and filmmaker Guillermo del Toro. Singleton was the first African-American nominated for an Academy Award for Best Director. Now to the latest on the Mueller report. House Democrats like Jerry Nadler say the evidence of obstruction by President Trump detailed in the report is impeachable if proven. Democratic leaders are under pressure from some members of the party to start impeachment. Senator Blumenthal condemning what he calls President Trump's shameful role in the election fraud highlighted by this report.
The attack on our election system was concerted and calculated. It was sweeping and systematic. This report shows how Donald Trump welcomed and happily accepted it, and then tried to obstruct the investigation into it.
President Trump tweeting this morning, calling the investigation a costly waste of time. Despite no collusion, no obstruction, the radical left Democrats do not want to go on to legislate for the good of the people, but only to investigate and waste time. This is costing our country greatly and will cost the Dems big time in 2020. Not everybody has the day off for the holidays. We show you how local fire crews spend their Easter Sunday. First responders, they don't get a break for the holiday weekend. Firefighters in Norwalk, though, liven up their 24-hour shift with a special Easter brunch at the firehouse. Members of the department say there's nothing like a gourmet meal to make the holiday feel special.
The firehouse is a home away from home to begin with, and especially when you're away from your families. This is definitely my second family, and all the guys feel the same way. So we like to do something extra. We did a little French toast, some pancakes, bacon, sausage, eggs, the whole spread. It was nice.
Those firefighters needing a break after responding to the Soundview Avenue fire we told you about earlier in the show. Another check of the forecast now with meteorologist Michelle Powers. It sounds like, from what I'm hearing here, we continue to go back and forth. A little rain, maybe not as much rain, then a little rain, then more rain. Yeah. Okay.
Very unsettled until this whole pattern breaks down. We have this upper level low. It's been cut off from the jet stream. So when we see things like this, it sort of is just kind of back and forth for a while until this low completely lifts out. And we see that happen tomorrow, but we are seeing some breaks right now. I mean, Bridgeport looks so much better than it did earlier this afternoon. We have some sunshine for now, but the clouds come back in later tonight, and come tomorrow we have a little bit of that gloomy gray feel again. Today in Bridgeport we had a high of 56. That is below average technically. Should be closer to 60. Now with the sunshine now, temperatures have actually warmed up a little bit more, but 56 does go in the books today for the high. Now come tomorrow, things could be a little bit better. As we go throughout tonight, though, we are dealing with a partly cloudy sky and then a mostly cloudy sky. Temperatures holding in those 50s, some upper 40s getting up in the morning, and then temperatures will warm up even more. So overnight, about 49 degrees, mostly cloudy, a little bit of fog developing here. The winds out of the southeast turning northeast. And come tomorrow, later in the day, we see another change in wind direction. So here's what's happening. We have the secondary area of low pressure that's developing around the mid-Atlantic right now. That comes northward for tomorrow and will spread moisture up through New England. So that's where the rain chances come back. Now, once that passes through, higher pressure will build on in temporarily, and we look good by the time we get to Tuesday. So really come tonight, tomorrow, more clouds collect. We start the day with 40s and 50s. We wind up with some 60s, maybe close to 70 in a few spots. But I think by Tuesday, you will love the forecast. I'll have more on that coming up. Nick, back to you.
Michelle, thank you. A special needs child from Bridgeport who died at the age of 9 would have been 20 this week. The family of Aaron Richardson holding an Easter celebration at Beardsley Park to mark the occasion. Local leaders pay tribute to Aaron, who died at home in his mother's arms after battling cancer in 2008. The event taking place at Aaron's Journey, an all-inclusive playground that opened 2 years ago today.
When he passed, I got a pen and a piece of paper, and God gave me that strength to do this park.
This is an all-inclusive park for children with or without special needs. They can come here to this part of Beardsley Park and really enjoy one of the most beautiful areas of a park anywhere.
Aaron's mom says it took her 8 years to get Aaron's Journey built. As a tribute to her son's legacy, many groups helped, including News 12's reporting, she says. Local volunteers celebrated in Bridgeport for giving back.
We're going to thank St. James Parish.
An award ceremony sponsored by Helping Hands Outreach. It's a local nonprofit, and it feeds the homeless. The event by the John Street Bridge, where hundreds each week get free food and clothing. Founder April Barron honoring dozens of local volunteers and groups who make that possible. She dedicates the effort to her son, who was murdered in 2011.
You see the smile on my face? This is something that I do. Everybody heal different, and this is a part of my healing, giving back from my son.
I just had a stroke, and I was able to come here and to say somebody saying to God being good for us.
Janine Walsh accepting the award on behalf of St. James Parish of Stratford. Senator Blumenthal calling Walsh a true local hero. Looking to shake off that winter weight? Maybe it's time to hit the road or hop on the bike. News 12's Andrew Enger has some cool tech for it in the download.
The warmer weather is here, and for some, that means getting out on the bike. But sharing the road with cars can be dangerous. That's why a good helmet is imperative. The Koros Safe Sound helmet is a unique one because it has a Bluetooth headset built in. However, unlike regular headphones, this uses directional speakers on the straps that beam the sound into your ear canals. That way, you can hear traffic.
So it doesn't cover the ear, it's still, your ear can still hear everything around.
There are 3 helmet models, urban, road, and mountain bike styles, all with a high-mounted safety light. And since it's connected to your smartphone, if you do get into trouble, the helmet can use your GPS location and call loved ones for help.
If you fall, and the helmet will detect your fall, and then it will send a message or phone call to the emergency contact that you assign.
But Koros says if you really want to take your workout to the next level, you need to measure your performance metrics, and you can do that with their new Apex GPS watch.
It does the swim, bike, running, triathlon.
The Koros Apex training watch has a simple interface that tracks GPS location, heart rate, altitude, cadence, and is waterproof. It also has a smart training function to encourage you to improve your performance. But most importantly, it's got amazing battery life. 100 hours with a GPS on, or 30 days with a GPS off.
It actually has the most power-efficient technology in the world.
I'm Andrew Enger, and that's your download.
Want to check out that stuff online? You can head to news12.com and click on numbers and links. Still ahead tonight, inspiring young people in Bridgeport this holiday, a well-known musician doing some mentoring for local kids.
I'm visually impaired, and I am on stage with Justin Timberlake. I know how it is to make those around you who are uncomfortable around handicapped people be comfortable, you know what I'm saying, because I've dealt with it for years. So it's good to have that knowledge on top of the music knowledge.
A musician who plays with the likes of Justin Timberlake and Bruno Mars spends the day inspiring young people in Bridgeport. Horn player Kevin Williams of Los Angeles is visually impaired. He leads a band called the Regimental Horns. Williams spending the day at the nonprofit Neighborhood Studios performing music and mentoring. Having just finished touring with Timberlake, he says this change of pace is refreshing.
I'm visually impaired, and I am on stage with Justin Timberlake. I know how it is to make those around you who are uncomfortable around handicapped people be comfortable, you know what I'm saying, because I've dealt with it for years. So it's good to have that knowledge on top of the music knowledge.
He encourages the public to support Neighborhood Studios, which is hosting a gala April 28th featuring Alley 2 Dance Company. We have more at news12.com.
And as for the weather, as we start our new work week, we have some rain. As we go throughout the week, a couple of chances as well. But right now it looks like Friday may feature more widespread rain for us. And by that point, we may need those umbrellas again. So this is what's happening overnight and into tomorrow. The clouds are coming back and there will be some moisture arriving. Now tomorrow morning, may be dry for us, but it's the afternoon and evening that will feature some of this. Right now, we're just seeing an area of low pressure getting organized here off the mid-Atlantic coast. This is not a strong system by any means, but it will be heading north right through parts of New England tomorrow. Temperatures tonight falling back into the 40s. It's actually a little bit drier tonight, so I took fog out of the forecast. Winds wrap around to the northeast and then northwest for tomorrow. That will have an impact on our weather. It's actually a little bit drier to start before the rain comes in later in the day. High temperatures better than today. We're looking at some middle and even upper 60s. Tuesday is a beautiful day, but Friday could be rainy for us. That's a look at your hyper-local forecast.
Michelle, thank you. You're watching News 12 Connecticut, as local news gets. Stay with us. Your top story is coming up right after this.